Have you ever been lying in bed when, without warning, your cat launches itself across the house? 1 second, everything is quiet. The next, you hear paws racing down the hallway, furniture shaking, and your cat making a turn so sharp that it almost seems to defy gravity. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it stops. Your cat sits down, looks completely normal, and starts cleaning one paw as though nothing happened. Most people call this behavior the zoomies. But why does it happen so often at night? And why does your calm, sleepy cat suddenly behave as though something invisible is chasing it? The answer is not simply that your cat has too much energy. These nighttime explosions reveal something much deeper about its internal clock, its hunting instincts, its relationship with your routine, and the wild animal still living beneath that peaceful appearance. Today, you're going to discover what is really happening inside your cat's mind during those sudden nighttime races. And stay with me until the end, because most zoomies are completely normal. But in certain situations, a sudden change in this behavior may be telling you something important. I'm your guide here at Feline Exposed, where we decode the small, mysterious behaviors that reveal how complex cats truly are. To understand the midnight sprint, we need to stop looking at your cat as a tiny human covered in fur. Because while you are preparing to sleep, your cat may feel that the most interesting part of the day is just beginning. Number 1, your cat's clock doesn't match yours. It usually begins with something familiar. The lights go off. The television becomes quiet. You get into bed and expect the entire house to settle down with you. But then, your cat's pupils widen. Its ears become alert. Its body lowers slightly. And a few seconds later, it takes off. This happens because cats do not naturally organize their day exactly the way humans do. People are generally active during daylight and sleep for one long period at night. Cats often divide their rest into many shorter periods and can become especially active around transitions between light and darkness. They are commonly described as crepuscular, which means they often show peaks of activity around dawn and dusk. Research monitoring feline movement has observed this two-peak pattern. Although a cat's home, access to the outdoors, feeding schedule, and relationship with people can reshape it. Now, pay attention to this. Your cat may not be running because it believes the middle of the night is daytime. Its internal rhythm may simply be telling it that this is a good moment to become active. For the ancestors of domestic cats, low light hours offered valuable hunting opportunities. The air was cooler, small prey animals were moving, and the darkness provided cover. Your cat may have never hunted for its own survival. Its food may arrive in a clean bowl at exactly the same time every day, but the ancient clock remains. This behavior existed long before houses, hallways, or couches existed. The environment has changed. The body receiving the signal has not changed nearly as much. Number 2, it has been saving energy all day. Think about what your cat did while you were busy. Perhaps it slept on the couch. Then it moved to the bed and slept again. Later, it sat near the window for a few minutes before returning to sleep. From your perspective, your cat had an incredibly relaxing day. But from its perspective, it may have been storing energy. Cats are built for short, intense bursts of movement, rather than long periods of continuous exercise. A hunting cat does not normally chase prey across several miles like an endurance runner. It waits. It watches. It approaches carefully. Then, it releases a large amount of energy within seconds. This pattern still appears during play. The sudden acceleration, sharp turns, and leaps you see during the zoomies resemble pieces of the movements used in chasing and capturing prey. Here's what almost no owner notices. Your cat's quiet afternoon and its chaotic evening are not necessarily two opposite behaviors. They can be two parts of the same system. Rest allows the body to prepare for intense action. If your indoor cat has had few opportunities to climb, chase, explore, or play during the day, that stored energy still needs somewhere to go. And when the house finally becomes quiet, the hallway becomes a running track. A chair becomes an obstacle. A rug becomes something to attack. You may see chaos. Your cat may be performing a miniature version of an activity cycle its body was designed to complete. This is especially common in kittens and young cats because their need for movement and play is often greater. But healthy adult cats can also experience sudden bursts of energy. Age may change the speed of the runner. It does not completely erase the instinct. Number 3, the invisible hunt has begun. Watch your cat closely before it runs. Sometimes there is a small warning. Its eyes lock onto a distant point. Its back legs shift beneath the body. Its tail flicks. Then it races across the room, attacks a toy, jumps onto furniture, or suddenly changes direction. You may think your cat is running away from an imaginary threat, but it may be chasing an imaginary target. Play in cats shares many movements with predatory behavior: locating, watching, stalking, chasing, pouncing, and grabbing. Feline environmental guidelines recommend giving cats safe opportunities to perform these parts of the hunting sequence through play, food puzzles, and exploration. But isn't this just instinct? Yes. But just instinct does not mean the behavior is empty or meaningless. Instinct gives your cat the basic pattern. The environment decides how that pattern is expressed. A wild cat might direct it toward a mouse moving through grass. Your cat may direct it toward a toy, a shadow, another cat, or a piece of dust that you cannot even see. Cats can also hear higher frequency sounds than humans and notice tiny movements in dim conditions. So what appears to be a completely random sprint may have started with a faint sound inside the wall, an insect near the ceiling, or a reflection moving across the floor. You did not detect the trigger, your cat did. And once the chase system switched on, the target may no longer have mattered. The movement itself became rewarding. That is why your cat may continue running after whatever attracted its attention has disappeared. The hunt began with something real. The zoomies continued because the hunter was already awake. Number 4. Your evening routine may be triggering it. Here's where the behavior becomes more personal. Your cat doesn't only follow the sun, it also follows you. Research into feline activity indicates that home environments and human schedules can influence when domestic cats become active. Feeding times, lighting, and the presence of people can all help shape their daily rhythm. Imagine what happens each evening. You finish working, you move through the house, you prepare food, you speak to your cat. Perhaps you finally sit down and give it attention. These small events form a predictable sequence. Your cat learns that the end of your day is when interesting things happen. Food appears, doors open, toys move, people return home. And even if you do not intentionally play with your cat, your movement may signal that an active period is beginning. Then you go to bed. To you, the activity has ended. To your cat, it may have only just started. Some cats even learn that running at night produces a response. They race into the bedroom. You sit up. You speak to them. You follow them into the hallway. Perhaps you give them food because you hope it will make them settle down. Without realizing it, you may have taught your cat a very simple pattern. Run through the house, and the human becomes active. This does not mean your cat is manipulating you in a calculated human way. It means your cat notices consequences. Behavior that produces something valuable, attention, movement, food, or play, is more likely to happen again. So when your cat begins its nightly performance at exactly the same hour, look beyond the cat. Look at the routine surrounding it. You may be part of the signal. Number 5. The zoomies may complete an unfinished cycle. There is another reason the timing often feels so precise. For many cats, eating and activity are connected. A natural hunting sequence involves searching, pursuing, capturing, and then eating. Domestic life changes that order. Food may simply appear in a bowl without the cat needing to search or move. The calories arrive, but the behavioral sequence remains incomplete. This does not mean your cat must be allowed to hunt real animals. It means play can provide a safe outlet for the movements associated with hunting. A toy that moves like prey allows the cat to watch, stalk, chase, and pounce. Then, a small meal can create a more satisfying ending to the sequence. Research involving pet cats has found that regular object play can influence hunting-related behavior, while broader feline welfare research connects appropriate play opportunities with important aspects of a cat's quality of life and its relationship with its guardian. Now, imagine 2 different evenings. In the first, a cat sleeps for hours, eats from a bowl, and receives little active play. Later, its body still appears ready to chase something. In the second, the cat spends several minutes stalking and catching a moving toy, receives a small meal, and then begins grooming. The second sequence gives the nervous system a clearer transition from pursuit to rest. It is not a guaranteed switch that will instantly stop every nighttime sprint. Cats have different ages, personalities, and activity levels, but it helps explain why random exercise is not always the same as satisfying play. Simply placing toys on the floor may not be enough. A motionless toy does not behave like prey. Your cat may be far more interested when you make the toy disappear behind an object, pause, move again, and allow it to be caught. This is not about exhausting your cat until it cannot move. It is about giving its instincts an appropriate story with a beginning, middle, and end. Number 6. Sometimes the run begins in the litter box. There is a version of the zoomies that confuses many owners. Your cat uses the litter box. Then it suddenly jumps out and races through the house as though it has just escaped something terrifying. People often call this the post-litter box zoomies. There is no single proven explanation for every cat. In many cases, the cat may simply experience relief, excitement, or a burst of arousal after eliminating. The scratching, turning, and rapid exit may shift the cat from a quiet state into an active one. Some owners also wonder whether this behavior reflects an old survival strategy, leaving the area quickly so scent does not attract predators. That explanation is plausible as an evolutionary idea, but it should not be presented as a confirmed reason for every domestic cat. And this is important. A quick, energetic exit from the litter box can be normal, but if your cat suddenly begins fleeing the box when it never did before, pay attention to the rest of its behavior. Is it straining, crying, repeatedly entering and leaving, producing little or no urine, licking itself excessively, avoiding the box? Those are not ordinary zoomies. They can be signs of discomfort and deserve prompt veterinary attention. Inability to pass urine can be an emergency, particularly in male cats. The difference is context. A playful cat runs, settles, and returns to normal. A cat in discomfort may show repeated, tense, or distressed behavior. Knowing your cat's usual pattern helps you notice when the pattern changes. Number 7. The running may be a message, not just a game. Most nighttime zoomies are harmless. The cat runs, it jumps, it looks excited rather than frightened. Then, after a few minutes, it settles down. But behavior should always be judged in relation to what is normal for that individual cat. A young cat that has raced around the home every evening for years is very different from a senior cat that suddenly begins running, vocalizing, and appearing confused at night. In older cats, new nighttime restlessness can sometimes be associated with pain, changes in vision or hearing, medical conditions, or cognitive decline. A cat of any age that seems to be running away from its own body, biting or intensely licking its skin, reacting painfully when touched, losing balance, panting without an obvious reason, or acting panicked, should not simply be dismissed as having the zoomies. The plot twist is that the movement itself does not tell you everything. You need to look at what happens before it, what happens during it, and how the cat behaves afterward. Normal zoomies usually look loose, energetic, and temporary. The cat may have wide pupils and an arched back, but the movement often has a playful quality. Distress tends to bring other changes: hiding, repeated vocalization, aggression, difficulty moving, altered appetite, litter box problems, or an inability to settle. Your cat cannot tell you, "This run feels different," but it can show you through a change in pattern. And because you see your cat every day, you are the person most capable of noticing that change. This is where understanding behavior becomes more than curiosity. It becomes care, what you can do before bed. So, should you try to stop the zoomies completely? Usually, no. Running is a healthy form of movement, and a short burst of playful activity is not a behavioral failure. The goal is not to turn your cat into a silent decoration at night. The goal is to make sure it has safe, satisfying opportunities to be a cat. Try offering an interactive play session during the evening, especially before the time when the zoomies usually begin. Use a toy that can move away, hide and change direction. Let your cat watch before chasing. Allow pauses. And most importantly, let it catch the toy sometimes. A hunt that can never be completed may become frustrating. Feline enrichment guidance recommends ending light-based chase games with a physical toy or reward that the cat can actually capture. After play, a small portion of the cat's normal meal may help create a natural transition. Keep climbing areas, pathways, and nighttime spaces safe. Move fragile objects away from the cat's usual route. Avoid using your hands or feet as prey, even when the cat is young and the behavior seems harmless. And do not punish the cat for running. Punishment does not remove the need behind the behavior. It may only make the cat associate you with fear. A predictable routine usually works better. Play, catch, eat, groom, rest. It may not eliminate every midnight race, but it gives that energy a healthier direction. The next time your cat suddenly races through the house at night, watch more carefully. You may not be seeing random chaos. You may be watching an ancient activity rhythm switch on. You may be seeing stored energy become movement. You may be witnessing a hunt without real prey, or a routine your cat has quietly built around you. For a few seconds, the peaceful animal sleeping on your couch disappears, and in its place, you see the fast, alert hunter that domestic life never completely erased. That is what makes cats so fascinating. They can spend the afternoon looking completely dependent on the comfort of your home. Then, when darkness arrives, their bodies remember a world that existed long before homes did. So next time the hallway becomes a racetrack, you may still be surprised. You may still worry about the furniture, but now you will understand what the behavior is trying to reveal. Your cat is not losing its mind. For a brief moment, it may be expressing exactly what it was built to be. Now tell me in the comments, what time does your cat usually begin its nightly zoomies? And does it have a favorite route through your house? If this video helped you understand your cat differently, leave a like and subscribe, because the strangest feline behaviors often become the most meaningful ones once you learn how to see the world through your cat's eyes.